The match notification that changed his life. Leon was just a normal human man living on a quiet colony planet called Alara 7. Life here was slow, peaceful, and a little boring. He worked as a machine technician, fixing farming drones and delivery bots. Every day felt the same. He would wake up, eat, fix things, and sleep. Leon didn't believe in love stories or magic moments. He believed in simple life, hard work, and staying out of trouble. But one morning, something strange happened. His communication tablet, which usually only gave weather updates and repair requests, suddenly flashed red. Red meant emergency. His heart beat faster as he picked it up. The words on the screen made no sense at first. Match confirmed, Galactic Bonding Initiative. Leon blinked. Was this a joke? He touched the message, and a voice played. You have been selected as a perfect genetic and emotional match. Under Article 441(z) of the Galactic Bonding Code, your partner has already been notified. Please prepare for transport and meeting within 30 minutes. Leon stared at the screen in shock. What partner? I didn't sign up for any match, he whispered. But the message kept playing, listing his name, age, DNA code, and even his heart rate. He ran outside, looking around. Everything was still quiet. Maybe someone hacked his device for a prank. But then, the ground shook. Dust flew into the air. Leon looked up and saw something impossible. A spaceship, sleek, silver, and nothing like human ships, was landing right outside his home. His legs felt weak. No, this can't be real. The ship opened. Steam hissed out. And then, she stepped out. An alien girl. But not like anything he had seen in pictures or stories. She was tall, maybe 7 feet, with skin like smooth pearl and long silver hair that glowed under the sun. Her eyes were bright violet, and her armor looked like it belonged to a warrior queen. She walked straight to him with confidence and didn't stop until she was only inches away from his face. Leon didn't move. He didn't even breathe. She smirked. You've been matched with me, human, she said, her voice calm but powerful. Your romantic duties start now. Leon opened his mouth to speak, but no words came out. What did she mean? Romantic duties? He wasn't ready for this. He didn't even know her name. I'm not part of this, he finally said. There must be some mistake. I didn't sign anything. I don't even know what the Galactic Bonding Initiative is. The alien girl didn't look surprised. In fact, she looked amused. Your people didn't need to sign. The AI found our match through deep neural scans and galactic law. Your DNA and mine are almost identical in emotional structure. Our bonding rate is 99.87%. This is rare. Almost never happens. Leon took a step back. I'm just a technician. I fix machines. I don't even have a pet, let alone a partner. I'm not ready to, whatever this is. She narrowed her eyes slightly. Running from fate. Human? Interesting. He was about to answer when 3 alien guards stepped out of the ship behind her. They stood silently, holding strange weapons. Not pointed at him, but not hidden either. Leon felt like the air around him was getting thinner. Wait, is this a choice? He asked, nervous. Can I say no? The alien girl tilted her head. No one is forced. But understand this. Match was created to strengthen peace between our species. If you refuse, it may be seen as a political insult. Insult? Leon repeated. I'm just one man. Yes, she said. And yet, one match can change everything. He didn't know what to say. This wasn't a love letter or a dating app. This was real and very official. But the strangest part wasn't the match or the guards or even the ship. It was her eyes. She didn't look angry or cold. She looked curious, like she was testing him, like she actually cared if he accepted. Leon took a deep breath. His heart was racing, and he didn't know if it was from fear or something else. He looked at her again. What's your name? He asked quietly. The alien girl raised one elegant eyebrow. Zanari, crowned daughter of the Zethari Empire. He blinked. Crowned daughter? That sounded royal. Very royal. And what happens if I say yes? A small smile played on her lips again. Then you come with me. You learn your duties. And we begin our bonding journey. Leon felt the wind brush his face. His life was about to change forever. He didn't know what waited on her ship, or what romantic duties even meant in her culture. But one thing was clear. Nothing about this was simple, and he had already been chosen. A contract sealed in blood and code. Leon stood in silence as the ship's doors closed behind him. The soft hum of alien energy surrounded him, and the air inside smelled clean, almost too clean. He had stepped into a world that didn't feel real. Beside him, Zanari walked with grace, her armor making no sound. She didn't speak. She didn't need to. The silence felt heavier than words. They entered a chamber filled with glowing lights and floating screens. A long table rose from the ground. On it lay a glowing tablet, covered in strange symbols. Zanari picked it up and turned to face him. "This is your contract," she said. "It is written in both Galactic Standard and your Earth language." Leon stepped forward slowly, staring at the strange writing. As he blinked, the alien words shifted into English right before his eyes. Genetic Union Contract. Code. For 41. ZX. 112. Match level. 99.87%. He felt dizzy. "This is real?" he asked. "Not a mistake? Not a prank?" Zanari looked at him with calm eyes. "No. Our species trusts the match AI. It finds rare bonds across galaxies. It studies your DNA, your brain patterns, your instincts, even your hidden emotions. You and I were made for each other." Leon gave a nervous laugh. "You make it sound like a fairy tale. But I don't even know you." "You will," she replied simply. Then she held out a small silver needle. "What's that?" he asked, stepping back. "To confirm the contract, both partners seal it with a drop of blood. It's tradition." Leon frowned. "That's a very intense tradition." Zanari nodded. "We don't play games with bonding. It is sacred, a life agreement. Once it is sealed, your name is marked in our systems. You gain protection and responsibilities." He hesitated. The thought of becoming legally tied to an alien queen was terrifying, but refusing could cause trouble between their species. And part of him, deep inside, was curious. He had never been anyone important, just a technician on a farming colony. But now, a powerful alien believed he was special. "What happens if I break the contract?" he asked, her eyes darkened. "If you try to break it, the Match Council will declare you a runner. In our law, that means you're someone who disrespected a sacred bond. You'll be hunted, imprisoned, maybe worse." Leon's mouth went dry. "So basically this is a life sentence." "A life connection," Zanari corrected. "Not a prison, unless you make it one." She pressed the needle gently against her finger and let a drop of glowing blue blood fall onto the contract. The tablet flashed. Then she handed it to Leon. He stared at it. No one had ever chosen him for something big. No one had ever looked at him the way Zanari did now. Not with love, but with belief. Like he was a key to something greater. Like he mattered. And part of him wanted that. With a deep breath, he pricked his finger and let a drop of his red blood touch the screen. The tablet glowed gold. Match sealed. The walls vibrated. Lights pulsed. A soft female voice spoke from above. "Contract complete. Bonding process initiated. Welcome, human partner." Leon felt something strange in his chest. Not pain, but heat. As if something inside him had been switched on. Zanari looked at him carefully. "You may feel changes. The bonding process has started. Our minds will become more connected. Not full mind reading, but we will sense each other. Feel each other's moods." Leon rubbed his temples. "Like emotional Wi-Fi?" She tilted her head. "Your words are strange, but yes. Something like that." He tried to stand straight and act calm. "Okay, so what now? Do we kiss? Go on a date? Exchange favorite foods?" She looked confused. "This is not Earth courtship. We begin training." "Training?" Leon blinked. "What kind of training?" "You must learn our customs, our strengths, our weaknesses. You must know how to protect yourself and me. You are now bonded to someone important. That makes you a target." Leon's heart skipped. "Wait, you mean people might try to hurt me?" "Yes," she said calmly. "Because you matter now." He didn't know if he should feel proud or terrified. But before he could think more, a door opened, and another alien stepped in. Tall, muscular, and clearly not happy. Zanari turned cold. "Captain Yarrick, what do you want?" The alien glared at Leon. "So this is the human you bonded with?" He looked soft. Leon opened his mouth, but Zanari stepped between them. "Speak to him like that again, and I'll remove your tongue," she said softly. Captain Yarrick narrowed his eyes but walked away without a word. Leon watched him leave. "He doesn't like me." "No," Zanari replied. Many will not. But they will learn. You are mine now, and I protect what is mine. Her voice wasn't romantic. It was dangerous. Like fire and ice, Leon wasn't sure what he had just become part of. But there was no turning back, and somewhere deep inside, he felt something awaken that he was no longer just a technician. He was a bonded match. A warrior queen. Asterisk the first test. In a shocking reaction, Leon had barely adjusted to the glowing wrist. Mark the contract left on his skin when Zanari gave him his first command. You must pass the bonding trial, she said. He raised an eyebrow. A trial? I thought we were already bonded. That was only the start, she answered. 2. Complete the bond. We must prove we trust each other with our lives. My people do not believe in words. They believe in actions. Leon sighed. Let me guess. This trial is dangerous. Zanari didn't answer. She just turned and walked down a long hallway that led deeper into the ship. Leon followed. The walls began to change color, from smooth silver to deep red. The air became thicker, warmer. He could hear low, rumbling sounds from far away, like thunder trapped underground. They stopped at a wide door. Above it, strange alien letters glowed, and then shifted into English for his eyes to read. Trial chamber. Survival through trust. Zanari turned to him. Her eyes were unreadable. In this room, there will be no weapons, no map, no guide. You will face heat, pressure, and shifting gravity. I will lead you only with my voice. Leon blinked. You mean? I won't see anything. She nodded. You will be blindfolded. A small part of him wanted to laugh. This sounded like some weird team-building exercise from a company retreat. But the serious look on her face told him this wasn't a game. Not even close. A drone floated over and placed a black cloth in her hand. Zanari stepped close, and without a word, tied the blindfold over his eyes. Darkness, he could hear the hiss of the door opening. Then she whispered in his ear, walk forward. Slowly. The floor felt like soft metal under his boots. At first, it was flat. Then it tilted. Leon nearly lost his balance. But her voice came again, steady and clear. Left foot. Now right. Step long. He obeyed. A second later, heat slammed into his face. Hot air rushed around him, like walking into a desert storm. He took another step and gasped. There was no ground beneath his foot. Jump, she said quickly. He didn't think. He trusted. He jumped and landed safely. Leon felt sweat run down his back. This wasn't a trick. This chamber was truly built to test fear. Any wrong move, and he might fall or burn or worse. Suddenly, gravity shifted. He felt pulled sideways. His knees wobbled. Hold still. Zanari's voice cut through the pressure. Breathe. I am here. He dropped to one knee, panting. Every instinct screamed to take off the blindfold. But he didn't, because she was still speaking, and he was still alive. The chamber went quiet. Then cold. Very cold. His fingers numbed. His skin ached. His legs began to shake. Crawl forward, she ordered. 3 hands forward. Then turn. Leon followed, even as ice bit into his palms. The metal felt frozen now, but suddenly, light. The blindfold came off. That he was kneeling in the center of a circle, surrounded by tall, alien observers. Above him, floating screens replayed his trial. Zanari stood beside a high-ranking alien in royal robes. She stepped forward. Trial complete. Result: pass. The audience clapped softly with open palms, a sound that meant honor in their culture. Leon stood up, still shaking. His legs were weak, but his heart beat strong. He had done it. He had trusted her with everything, and she had guided him through. Then, something strange happened. Zanari stepped close, touched the side of his face with 2 fingers, and said quietly, I was not sure if you would make it. Leon gave her a crooked smile. Neither was I. She didn't smile back, but her eyes softened, just a little. Most humans fail, she whispered. They panic. They cry. They quit. But you followed every word, even in the dark. He shrugged. I figured if I was going to be trapped with an alien queen forever, I might as well listen to her. Her lips twitched, almost a laugh. But the moment ended fast. One of the alien observers stood up. A tall, dark-skinned alien with glowing eyes and sharp features. This match is still unproven, the alien said coldly. Passing one test does not mean he belongs. Many doubt the match AI. Zanari turned her head slowly. Then let them doubt. she said. Until they see what I already see. The alien didn't respond. But the room grew tense. Leon could feel it. This was only the beginning that he had survived the first trial, gained a little trust, maybe even earned a sliver of respect. But outside this room, not everyone wanted the bond to succeed, and someone was watching. Asterisk secrets of the alien. Queen Leon woke up feeling sore, but strangely alive. His body still remembered the pain from the trial chamber, the heat, the cold, the pressure, but his mind was stuck on something else. It wasn't the danger that haunted him. It was Zanari's eyes. Not when she looked angry, not when she gave commands, but when she whispered that she didn't know if he'd survive, and looked almost human for a moment. That he couldn't stop thinking about it. The ship moved quietly through space now, heading toward her homeworld. The stars outside his window were cold and endless. Yet inside the ship, something was changing. The guards didn't glare at him anymore. The servants now bowed slightly when they passed him. And Zanari kept her distance. She didn't speak to him much after the trial. But Leon knew something was building, not just between them, but around them. That evening, curiosity pushed him to explore the upper decks of the ship. No one stopped him. In fact, the doors opened for him without question. Like the ship now accepted him. At the top level, he found a large chamber. Its door was locked with a glowing crest, shaped like twin moons wrapped in fire. He touched it, and surprisingly, the door slid open. Inside, the room looked different from the rest of the ship. Warmer. There were medals on the walls, weapons lined up in careful display, and an old chair made from bones and steel. In the center of the room stood a tall crystal tank, filled with blue liquid and glowing data lines. It was a memory chamber. Leon stepped closer, and images began to form above the tank. Holograms of battles, speeches, and parades. But the same face appeared in all of them. Zanari. She wasn't just a soldier. She was a leader, a champion, a warrior who had fought in 7 major wars, defeated rebel commanders, and saved cities from destruction. That he watched as one memory showed her walking into a burning building to save alien children. Another showed her standing on top of a ruined tower, holding the flag of her empire. Leon's chest felt tight. She wasn't just strong. She was someone important, someone powerful, and he had been matched with her. He didn't feel worthy. He was a machine tech, a nobody, just a man who fixed things and drank cold tea. The final memory hit the hardest. It showed her kneeling before a massive throne, surrounded by armored generals. That a deep voice echoed. Zanari Zethrian, crown heiress of the Zethri Empire, sworn protector of peace and fire. Leon stumbled backward. Crown heiress, he had bonded with a royal. No wonder the others were angry. No wonder that alien observer from the trial looked ready to kill him. He wasn't just an outsider, he was now tied to the future queen. Suddenly, the door behind him opened. He turned quickly. It was her. Zanari stood in silence for a moment, watching him with unreadable eyes. Then she stepped into the room. "You found my chamber," she said, not angry, just calm. "I didn't mean to," Leon replied. The door opened on its own. "It recognized your DNA," she explained. "You're bonded now. This room is part of your access." Leon turned back toward the crystal tank. "You didn't tell me you were a crown heir." "There was no need," she said. "You signed the contract." He frowned. "That feels important. Maybe you should have said something before I bled on it." She walked past him and touched one of the medals. "Most who learn this truth treat me like a symbol, a prize. I didn't want that from you." Leon looked at her. "And what do you want from me?" She didn't answer at first. Then, she finally said, "I want someone who will stand beside me, not behind me." Leon laughed softly. "Well, I'm not great at standing straight, but I'm good at not running." That made her lips twitch. Just barely. But the moment was broken when a loud alarm echoed through the ship. Red lights flashed above them. Zanari's face turned cold. She reached for her communicator. "What is it?" Leon asked. A guard's voice came through the speaker. "Rebel ships approaching. For vessels. Armed. Demanding surrender." Zanari clenched her jaw. "They tracked us." Leon's heart raced. "Tracked us? You mean they're here for you?" She turned toward him, eyes sharp like fire. "No, they're here for you." "Me?" he gasped. "Yes," she said. "They don't want me bonding with a human. They believe the match is an insult. They want to stop it permanently." The lights dimmed. The ship shook. Enemy fire was hitting the shields. Leon took a step closer to her. What do we do? She looked at him, not as a queen, not as a warrior, but as someone who had to protect something precious. We survive, she said. Together. Leon didn't know if he was brave or foolish. But at that moment, he nodded. And for the first time, the future didn't feel so far away that it felt like it had already begun. Asterisk the rebellion begins, the ship rocked again. This time harder. Leon nearly lost his balance as sparks flew across the hallway. Emergency lights turned everything red. Loud sirens screamed through the corridors. It didn't feel like a drill. It felt like war. Zanari's voice stayed calm. Shields at 62%. They won't hold forever. We must move. Leon followed her without question, even as the ground beneath them vibrated. He saw alien crew members rushing to their stations, weapons charged, commands shouted in strange languages. But no one looked surprised. It was like they had prepared for this. Why are they doing this? Leon asked, breathless. Because I chose you, Zanari said without looking at him. And that choice threatens their power. Leon couldn't understand it. He wasn't a hero or a fighter, just a man who got matched by some all-knowing machine. Why would anyone want to kill him for that? They entered a control room. The walls showed live holograms of the sky outside, 4 dark rebel ships circling like vultures. Energy blasts lit up space like fireworks, crashing against Zanari's ship. Her top officer stepped forward. The rebels demand surrender. They claim the bonding was a political trick. They say no human can be a rightful consort. Leon frowned. Consort, partner to the heir, Zanari explained. Your life is now tied to my throne, to my future. They believe removing you will break that future. Leon swallowed hard. And how many people are ready to kill me to stop that? She turned to the screen. All of them. The officer looked uneasy. We cannot win a direct fight. Their ships are older, but they outnumber us. Zanari's eyes flashed. Then, we don't fight directly. She pressed a command on the panel. A secret door opened behind the wall. This escape pod is shielded. It will not be tracked, she told Leon. You'll go now? I will distract them. Leon shook his head immediately. No, I'm not leaving you behind. You must, she said. You are the symbol they hate. If they catch you, they'll broadcast your death across 10 systems. I cannot let that happen. He grabbed her arm. I didn't ask for this bond. I didn't choose this life. But I did choose to trust you. And if I run now, that means I was never worthy. Zanari stared at him for a long time. Then, softly, she said, you are more than worthy. Before she could argue again, a violent shock tore through the ship. One of the rebel blasts had hit a power core. The lights went out for 2 seconds, then returned, flickering. And just like that, the decision was made. We fight together, Zanari said. But we do it smart. She led him down into the lower decks, dark, narrow corridors where old tech and hidden supplies were kept. They reached an old tactical room, long and used. Zanari activated a small drone. This will scan their fleet for weak points. Leon looked over the dusty controls. Let me help, he said. I know systems, engines, and signal tricks. I may not be a warrior, but I'm still useful. She nodded, impressed. Minutes later, they had a plan. Leon used his knowledge to jam part of the rebel sensor systems. At the same time, Zanari rerouted shield power to blast one of the rebel ships directly in its fuel section. The explosion was small, but enough to scare the others. They think we have help now, Zanari whispered. Good. Suddenly, a voice came over the ship's broadcast system. Deep. Angry. This is Commander Tyrant of the rebel front. Surrender the human, and we will let the rest of you live. Leon looked at Zanari. That voice. I know it. I heard it during the bonding trial. He was there. Zanari nodded. He's one of the old guard. They want to rule the empire with fear. Our match is a threat to their control. But why? Leon asked. What's so dangerous about a human bonding with you? She looked at him with sharp, glowing eyes. Because love is stronger than fear. Because if people believe we are real, then their power begins to crumble. The alarm stopped. Silence fell. The rebels were preparing something big. Zanari placed a hand on Leon's shoulder. You are not just my partner. You are now a piece of the Empire's future. We win, or we fall together. And for the first time, Leon didn't feel like a technician. He felt like a flame in the middle of a storm. Asterisk the bond that could end a war. The next hours passed in darkness, fire, and silence as Zanari's ship had gone into deep stealth mode. The lights were off. Engines were cold. They floated in space like a dead rock, hoping the rebels would believe they had been destroyed or abandoned. Inside, the halls were quiet. Leon sat in a storage chamber, his back against a metal wall, watching Zanari as she checked a pulse scanner. Her face was calm, but her movements were sharp, focused. She was planning, always planning. But her shoulders looked heavier than before. He had seen her fight, lead, and protect. He had seen her risk everything for him. But now, for the first time, she looked tired. "You ever stop and breathe?" he asked gently. Zanari paused. She turned to look at him, and for a moment, the queen disappeared. Only the woman remained. "We were never taught to rest," she said softly. "We fight, we win, or we vanish." Leon nodded. "Sounds familiar. Humans don't always rest either, especially the ones who come from broken places." He picked up a ration pack and offered her half. She took it, and they sat in silence for a while, chewing slowly. Then she spoke again. "When I was 10, I was almost killed by a traitor inside the royal court. He tried to poison my blood. My mother told me something that day. She said, 'Never bond with anyone. They'll only use you to hurt us.'" Leon looked at her. "And yet, you let the AI match you with me." "I didn't expect it to work," she admitted. "It was supposed to be symbolic. A way to show the council I was open to peace. But then the results came, and they pointed to you." He gave a small smile. "So you tried to prove a point and ended up with me as your romantic duty." Zanari chuckled quietly for the first time. It was soft but real. "Yes, and now I'm hiding in a dark ship, eating cold food with a human, while rebels try to blow us apart." He tilted his head. "Still think the AI made a mistake?" She didn't answer right away. Instead, she reached into her armor and pulled out a glowing disc. She placed it on the floor between them. A small light rose, showing two heartbeats, pulsing together in rhythm, hers and Leon's. "This is what the AI saw," she whispered. "Matched rhythm, emotional fusion, cross-species compatibility. You're not just my bond. You are my balance." Leon stared at the light. The rhythm was hypnotic. So simple, so alive that he whispered, "Do you feel it too?" "Yes," she said. "Even now, I feel your fear, your thoughts, your hope. When you doubted me in the trial, I felt it like a cold wind. But when you trusted me in the storm, I felt warmth." Leon placed his hand on the floor, not touching hers, just close. "I never thought I mattered," he said. "Not in the big picture, but with you. It's like I stepped into a story I didn't know I was part of. You're the reason I still believe peace is possible," she said. "If my people see us, see this bond work, they might follow. If not, everything burns." Just then, a soft beep broke the silence. The stealth shield was weakening. Their location would be revealed in minutes. Zanari stood up fast. "We move now. If we wait, they'll fire without warning." Leon followed. But before they reached the door, she turned to him. "There is one last thing I need you to do," she said. "What?" She handed him a small device. "If I'm captured or killed, activate this. It will send proof of our bond to every system in the Empire. They will know I chose you, that I believed in this." Leon stared at the device. It was light, but it felt heavy in his hand. "You're not going to die," he said. She nodded slowly. "Then fight like that's true." Moments later, they reached the weapons deck. Rebel ships were closing in. The countdown had begun, but now, Leon didn't feel like a passenger, that he felt like a partner. This wasn't just about escape anymore. This was about them. Their bond, their truth, their fire, and the galaxy was about to see it. Asterisk. Her final choice. And the galaxy watches the rebel ships had surrounded them. On the large battle screen, Leon could see the glowing shapes closing in from every side. Red marks. Enemy targets. Too many. Too close. The stealth field was down. The shields were weak. And the main weapon systems were already drained. They had no place left to run. But Zanari stood tall, her eyes cold and fierce, her armor cracked but still shining. She wasn't afraid. Not for herself. Only for him. Leon stood beside her at the command panel. His hands trembled, but his voice stayed steady. "They're calling again," he said. "Tyrant's ship is broadcasting." Zanari gave a small nod. Put him on. The screen blinked, and Commander Tyrant's face appeared. Pale gray skin, angry gold eyes, and a voice full of poison. Zanari Zethrian, he said, smiling darkly. The mighty warrior queen, hiding behind a human. You shame your bloodline. Zanari didn't blink. And you shame your uniform. Tyrant's eyes narrowed. Surrender him now. Break the bond, and I will let your crew live. Leon looked at her, but she didn't move. Instead, she stepped forward. No, she said clearly. I will not surrender my match. Tyrant growled. Then, you die with him. The screen went black. Alarms began to ring again. Weapons charging. Enemy fire incoming. Zanari turned to her crew. Prepare the arena shield. Leon blinked. Arena? What does that mean? She looked at him with steady eyes. In our laws, final disputes of honor can be solved with single combat. One champion from each side. No armies. No weapons. Just truth and blood. And you're going to fight him? Leon asked, shocked. Yes, she said. Unless you want to. Leon stepped back. Me? Against that guy? Zanari gave him a rare, warm smile. You've already fought something greater, your fear. But Leon shook his head. No, you're the fighter. You've always been. But if I can help, I will. They stepped onto the arena deck, an open chamber with energy walls and a floating platform between the ships. It was an old part of Zethari law, rarely used now. But everyone across both fleets watched. Cameras. Broadcast links. Billions of eyes. This was more than a battle. This was history. Zanari stood at the center of the platform. Tyrant appeared seconds later, tall and armored, carrying a curved blade of dark light. The voice of the Empire AI spoke. Combat of honor begins. Stakes. Life, legacy, and bond. Tyrant attacked first, fast, ruthless. Zanari dodged, blocked, moved with power and speed. Her strikes were smooth like wind, sharp like fire. Leon watched with his heart frozen. Every time she stumbled, he wanted to scream. But she didn't fall. She kept fighting, until Tyrant slashed her side, deep. She dropped to one knee. Tyrant raised his blade. Leon shouted, "No!" And without thinking, he ran onto the platform. Gasps echoed across the comms. The human had broken the rule. But Leon didn't care that he grabbed the backup blade from the ground and stood in front of her. You want to kill her? He said, voice shaking. You go through me first. Tyrant laughed. You're no warrior. No, Leon replied. I'm worse. I'm a human. And with that, he lunged. The crowd went silent, but he didn't fight like a soldier. He fought like someone who had nothing left to lose. Fast, clumsy, but unpredictable. He hit Tyrant once. Then again. Surprised, the commander stumbled. Zanari rose behind him and landed a final strike. Tyrant dropped his blade. Defeated, the AI voice returned. Victory, Zanari Zethrian. Bond remains intact. Rebellion defeated by law. The rebel ships powered down. The battle was over. Back on the main deck, Leon sat beside her as medics patched her wounds. She winced but smiled. You were not supposed to do that, she whispered. He grinned. I figured one broken rule was worth keeping you alive. She looked at him for a long time. Then she stood, and in front of everyone, she took his hand. Not like a queen, like a mate. A partner. A symbol. Across the galaxy, the bond was confirmed. Broadcast showed a human and a Zethari heiress, bloody, bruised, but together, and for the first time in history, peace had a face. 2 hearts. One match, forever written in fire and code.